All right, so practice test number 2. Now we're ready for problem number 5. Now notice that the first thing I asked you for in problem number 5 are the PRRs.
Yeah.
That means you're going to be guessing. This is going to be a guess problem. Luckily, what are my PRRs? There aren't that many of them. Plus or minus 1, 2, and 4 over 1. Remember, it's factors of last over factors of first. And you got to put 1 plus or minus in there somewhere. So I always put mine on the top. Anytime it says PRRs, you're going to be guessing. That's why you do the PRRs. Okay? So what do you want to guess?
2.
2. Oh my gosh. Is that a lucky guess or did you do it ahead of time?
I did it.
Everybody good? So it says find the roots. Well, one of them is 2. We know 2 because we guessed it. Now, chances are some of you may not guess the right answer the first time. So if we hadn't gotten 0, what would we do?
Try
Guess again, right? And since there aren't many options, even if you're a really bad guesser, it's not going to take you very long. All right, where do I go from here?
Plug it in.
I look at what's left. This is where the other answers are going to come from, right? And that's x squared plus 4x plus 2. Yeah. This is Mrs. Ford being mean. That doesn't factor. Mean, I know, it's a quadratic though. So what other means do we have of solving a quadratic? Quadratic formula, that's right. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The quadratic formula is not something you can forget. That has to stick with you. So what do I got? Negative 4 plus or minus the square root of? That's going to be 8, right?
Breaks down into 2.
Now, if you get that far, you're going to get most of the points. But if you want full credit, you got to fix them. What's wrong with the square root of 8? It'll break down. So it's negative 4, 2 root 2. And now, see your little triangle here? If all those are reducible by the same number, you need to do it. So I'm going to take a 2 out of everything. So negative 2 plus or minus root 2 over 1, or just over nothing. So what are the answers to the question? This one and these 2. Now, I'm not asking you to graph it or anything else, so that's just it. You solve it, you're done. All right, number 6, factor and sketch. Now, do you notice that I'm not saying anything about PRRs on this problem? Now, that doesn't mean you can't use them. You can use them if you want to. It just means you don't have to. So if I don't need my PRRs, I must be able to factor this by grouping. So those are your options. You're either going to guess the PRRs or you're going to factor by grouping. If I don't mention PRRs, it means you can factor by grouping. So how would this one group?
Take an x squared.
Take out an x squared, good. Leaving me with x plus 5. How about here? -4, leaving me with x plus 5. That's a winner, so I have my x plus 5. And then x squared minus 4.
Breaks down into x plus 2 times x minus 2.
Exactly. I want to say one thing here, though. I've said it before. When you have your common factor, x plus 5, and you write it down, don't square it. You just write down the common factor. And then, like Kat said, that's the difference of squares. And now I'm ready to sketch. It says factor and sketch. So here are the factors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, -5, -2, 2, right? Starts down. How do I know it starts down? Because it's not, it's an x cubed. Nothing bounces, so it just weaves its way through those zeros. Any question about that? Everybody okay? Again, if you are a terrible factorer by grouping, you don't like to factor by grouping, you can do the PRRs on this problem, and yes, it'll probably take a little longer, but you can certainly do that. All right, sketch, here we go. Well, you've had this on 2 different quizzes, 3 if you count the flex quiz, so we should be experts at this. What do we do first? Yep, so we got a dot at 1, -4, and 3. Don't you dare start connecting dots until you've done what? What do I have to do now? Count. You gotta count, because you gotta figure out if you're coming up from the bottom or if you're coming down from the top. And that depends totally on how many x's you have altogether. So how many x's do I have altogether? 5. 5 is odd, which means I come up from the bottom, right?
Yeah.
As soon as I hit that point, I'm going to glance up at my problem. This came from that parentheses, not squared, zip through. This one came from that parentheses, so I'm going back the way I came. That one came from that parentheses, so I'm going back the way I came. No one's going to miss that one, right? All right, here we go. Pressure varies inversely as volume. Pressure varies inversely as volume. So I'm going to have P equals KV or P equals K over V. It's K over, because this is inverse. Pressure, volume. All right. If the pressure is 80, the volume is 16. See what I did? So K equals is that 1280?
Yeah.
Find the pressure when the volume is 40. So I'm using this equation only. It says find the pressure when the volume is 40, and of course now I know my K, so I can put my K in. Is that all right with everybody? We're not done yet with it, but is that a good setup?
Yep.
Now, anytime you have zeros over zeros, you can cancel them. So we have 128 divided by 4, which is 32. Is that right, Sam? Is everybody all right with that? Okay, what if it had been varies directly? Then I would have said 80 equals K times 16. And divided and got a different K and done the same thing, right? Okay. All right, consider. Oh, this is going to be a big problem because it says list the PRRs. What does that automatically mean to me? I'm going to have to guess. I'm going to be guessing and dividing. What numbers am I going to guess from? Plus or minus, don't forget that. 1, 2, 4, and 8 over 1.
Let's try 2.
2. Make sure when you copy that down that you're getting your negatives in there. Well, you did it again. Everybody okay with that far? What's next then? What do I do next?
You got X.
Toby, what do I do next?
I'm just.
Oh no, it's
No.
not a good thing.
No.
You know what to do next. What do I do now?
You have to plug it in.
Well, I already did the division, so I guessed 2 and divided.
Well, it would be like 1x squared.
Exactly. This is where I look. Yep.
Yeah.
And what do I do with that? It's x squared plus 5x plus 4. That's exactly right. What do I do with it then?
Well, you have to factor it.
Yep. Do you see how that one factors? How does it factor, Toby?
X. Oh wait, 4 and 1.
Yeah. Is that easy? Good. Now, I do want you to be careful because ultimately we're sketching this. So that means where will the dots go on the sketch? Exactly. I don't want you to forget about that too. We have -4, -1, and 2. Where did the 2 come from? The 2 was the one we guessed. Don't forget about that one. That's your first answer. Now, I'm going to graph it in a minute, but there is an answer blank for the factors. So you've got this one and this one, and what is your third factor going to be? If you put a dot at 2, x minus 2. So here are all of the factors. It is so easy to forget the one you guessed, but don't forget it is part of the problem too. And then you can just connect the dots. Try to get them. Text?
Why is it x minus 2 if you plugged in the 2 already? You flip it?
Always. It's whatever you divide it by is where the dot goes, Tex. And doesn't the dot go at the opposite of the factor? Yeah. So I'm just thinking about that backwards.
Yeah.
Tex, just make sure that whatever you wrote down as factors matches the dots you put up
Yeah.
there. Good. Then you're good. You're all good. Okay? Well, now we've got everybody's favorite. Change into vertex form by completing the square. So first thing we have to do is divide everything by 3. And we are not going to be alarmed. We're just going to have y over 3 for a minute. We'll change that back after a bit, but right now it's just going to be y over 3 equals x squared minus 4x plus 3. All right, what next? Subtract the 3, that 3. Because you are going to find the right number. 3 is not the right number. You're going to find the right number. So to add here, so that this becomes a square. What number will that be? Well, what number goes here, Sam? You're getting ahead of me.
Right.
What number goes here?
4.
4. How did Sam get 4?
Divided by 2.
4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. We take half of this and square it. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. Don't forget to add it over here too. Now, Sam, what square did you say that is?
X minus 2.
Yep, you are exactly right. So now we have y over 3 plus 1.
Subtract the 1, right?
Yep, now we just put stuff back. So we'll subtract the 1. And now we'll times by 3. Yep, we do, except what's in the parentheses. So we're going to have y equals 3 times the parentheses, not the 2, leave that alone.
Minus 3.
And then minus 3. Yep, because you got to multiply the 1 by 3 also. So there's your vertex form. I don't think this test is going to be so bad. One more page. Here we go. Which are polynomials? If not, why not? So, on this section, it's going to be yes or no. But if you write no, you have to tell me why it's a no. Okay? So, A.
No.
No. Why not? X in denominator. B.
Yeah.
Yes. Nothing wrong with B. C.
Yes.
Yes. Nothing wrong with that. And you might say, oh, those are radical. But it only matters if the X is under it. So it's a good one. C is good. What about D?
No.
No, because X is under the radical. Yeah. And what about E? Nothing wrong with E. E is fine. When do I not like fractions? When they're in the exponent. Right, so let's run through the 4 rules. Can't have an X in the bottom of a fraction, denominator. Can't have an X under a radical. Can't have a fractional exponent. And can't have a negative exponent. Remember those 4 rules? All right. Number 12. Write the equation of the linear function where f of 1 is 4 and f of 3 is 8. Well, we're going to find the slope. Absolutely. It says line, linear, line. We need slope. But before we do that, I would recommend that you write these guys as ordered pairs. You don't have to do that, but we had a quiz over this and kids messed it up because they did without doing that. I think if you do that, you have a better chance of success. So this is the ordered pair 1, 4. This is the ordered pair 3, 8. Now I can find the slope. 8 minus 4, 3 minus 1. That's 4 over 2, which is 2. You are not done. What is the second and last step then? Exactly, Jackson. Y, pick a point. I'll do this one because I always do the first one. So y minus 8 equals 2 times x minus 3. So it's y minus the y coordinate equals slope times x minus the x coordinate. Then do your distributive property
Plus 2.
and get y by itself. And Sam is right. There it is. That's your line. Okay? Now the next one is the same thing, except it's a quadratic function. Now, quadratic function means parabola. This is the equation you are going to write, an equation that looks like that. That is the vertex form of a parabola. Do not do slope. Do not do point slope. This is a parabola. So this is the equation that you're writing. Now, if you had this equation, wouldn't you tell me that the vertex is at 2, -3? So build it backwards. If the vertex is at 3, 1, then what does that equation have to look like? X minus 3 plus 1? Doesn't that have a vertex of right 3, up 1? What's that point for? That's an extra random point. What is it there for?
To find your end.
To help me find that number right there, right? So what am I going to do?
Plug it in.
Same thing I did before. I'm going to plug it in. So 2 equals n times -4 minus 3 squared plus 1. Remember, this is x and y, so make sure you're plugging them in the right spot. Good? So let's work it out. -4 minus 3 is 7, squared is 49. Do not add the 49 and the 1. This is 49n. This is 49n. So I'll subtract the 1 and divide by 49. And then just like I cautioned you before, don't get so excited and stop there. You need to put that 1/49th right into your equation. And that is the answer. I know you're running out of steam. It's almost over. We're almost done. Last question. Find the vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction of opening. Vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction of opening. You can do these blindfolded. You're so good at these. What is our axis of symmetry? X equals negative b over 2a. -6 over 2, -3. So your axis of symmetry is x equals -3. So your vertex is -3 comma something, right? And how will I find the something? Plug it in. So -3 squared is 9, minus 18,
23.
minus 4. -13.
Wait, where'd the minuses?
Perfect. And it opens up because this is a positive. One more problem. Here we go. Do not be confused.
Take a 3 out.
you need to know vertex, axis of symmetry, and direction of opening. So you need to have negative b over 2a. What's your a in this problem? Your a is 3. What's your b in this problem? Negative 12. Your c is missing. We don't really care, but it's okay if something's missing. You just have a 0. Negative b would be 12 over 2a would be 6. So your axis of symmetry this time is x equals 2. So your vertex is 2, comma. Remember, we square first. So 2 squared is 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 24. Negative 12. And this one also opens up because the 3 is positive. Well, gang, we have one more chance to practice.
Then the A plus 1 plus
And then you gotta do it.
you got that
So
right?
I will see you tomorrow, right? Then I don't see you on Thursday.